Worldies and travelers, today we have a story from Rotten Mango which says chef brother caught with missing sister's DNA inside his rice cooker. Oh my goodness. Let's get into this. What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to Around the World with Steven. Welcome if you're new, and if you're returning, I appreciate you. Well, this is crazy. Look, reading the story alone got me intrigued to check it out. Do all to keep liking, sharing, subscribing. I appreciate all your help so much. You all are wonderful people, and the more you like my reaction, the more you give me feedback, positive, negative, whatever it may be, the more I improve. I try different methods, different things. Just feel free to tell me what you want, and I'll definitely do that for you. Well, Discord link in the description. We're gonna start a Discord exclusive event where we'll be reacting to a lot of stuff on Discord. Join in on the action. Let's get it.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Lucy felt like she got lucky with her husband. He's 10 years older than her, and that was initially a concern for her. She's got to be pragmatic about it, right? But it also has its advantages. Usually with age comes maturity, patience, and the ability to provide. And she's 27. He's 37. So it's not like this alarming age gap where she's freshly 18. And he was caring, he's reliable, and she was just so excited to start this new phase of her life with him. She was gonna move from her hometown in mainland China to Taiwan, make new friends, maybe start a family with this man. The possibilities were endless. And she admits, a large part of why she married this guy, it has a lot more to do with settling down instead of love. But she could learn to love him. That's what she felt like.
Damn.
It was a little isolating to be without her friends in Taiwan, but she could call them. And she did every single night. She would call them and tell them everything that her sweet husband did for her that day. Which, by the way, this is crazy, but he never wanted her to be in the kitchen. All of her friends are like, that is insane. I'm so jealous of you. Most of our husbands, super traditional. They want me to cook 3 meals a day. And your husband, constantly cooking for you, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You're never in the kitchen. Yeah, well, he's a chef, so I guess it kind of makes sense that he would want to spend time in his own kitchen, right? He would, however, get a little...
Well, that comes with a cost, though, because nothing is 100% in the world, right? He's doing all this for her, and guess what? She doesn't really love him. She's learning to love him. Who knows? She probably can't stand him. There's something about someone that everybody has a problem with, but what makes you overlook that and accept that and tolerate that is love. Now, if you don't love somebody and they breathe, even if they breathe the wrong way, it'll irk you. So the fact that he doesn't want her to be in the kitchen and be traditional, and he's cooking because he's a chef and everything, well, it's nice, it's fancy, but the cost is that she doesn't really love him. Nothing in the world is 100%. The person who is traditional and stuff like that has a husband who doesn't appreciate that. The husband who is loving and caring has a woman who is not romantic. I mean, there has to be something. There is something. So, yep. It's not 100%.
little snappy at her when she disturbed his peace in there. It's kind of endearing. He's just very passionate when he's cooking. He doesn't want anyone to mess with his flow. So for the first few weeks, Lucy was in marital bliss. But as time went on, she starts having these really odd suspicions. Her husband didn't just get snappy when she tried to help him cook in the kitchen. Even if she walked into the kitchen for a glass of water, he would be lounging in the living room, jumping up off the sofa to get the water for her.
No.
It's one thing to not want someone messing up your process or your work, but it's another thing to just not want your wife in a whole room of the house, like such an important room of the house. Even if she's not moving things around or touching anything, but maybe she's been spending too much time alone without her friends. She's thinking, maybe I'm overthinking things. Maybe he's just trying to be nice. But one day while he was at work, curiosity gets the best of Lucy, and she decides, this is so silly. So silly. I'm just gonna go in there and make myself something to eat. And if he's gonna get upset about that, then he's a horrible husband. What does he want me to do? Starve to death? She walks over to the kitchen, opens up the freezer door. Maybe there were some frozen dumplings she could steam. But instead, she makes eye contact. Inside the freezer was a woman's frozen head.
Stop.
She had long hair, her eyes were wide open, and staring at Lucy. Lucy slammed the freezer door shut. She ran back into the room, and she's like, I gotta leave now, right? But no, she can't. He knows where her family lives. He knows everything about her. He would know that she saw the head.
Oh, hell no. I'm relocating with me and my family and everybody, our dogs, our cats, our pigs, our pets. We are all leaving wherever, bro. We are going to the village. I do not care, bro. A human head. Who are you living with? Who is your husband? Bro, your soup, dumplings, your kimchi and everything is in the same fridge as a human head. And this guy has the human head in the oh boy.
Left. I mean, this man would probably track her down to keep her quiet. The only other option is divorce, but how? She doesn't have a single person in the area that she knows, and she's terrified of this guy. Even going to the cops, what if he hides the head somehow? Lucy decides the only way to survive in the long run is to wait a few weeks before making up some lie that her grandma passed away and she would have to go to her family. She would have to go back home to mainland China. For the funeral, of course. And then she could tell her parents everything that she saw, everything that happened, and then they would help her figure a way out of this. But that meant for the next few weeks, she would have to pretend like nothing was wrong.
Oh my goodness,
She
I
would have
can't.
to control the fear in her voice,
No.
her facial expressions. She would have to not flinch whenever he got close to her. Whenever he walked into the kitchen, she would have to not look suspicious. If he suspected that she knew about the head, what would he even do to her? She had to play this right. She would have to sit down at the table, smiling, happy, in love, and get excited over these new dishes that he's cooking, and try not to gag, wondering, where is the rest of that woman's body?
Damn. Oh my goodness, bro. I am shaking. What? I could not pretend. Not me, man. Nah. What?
As always, full show notes are available at rottenmangopodcast.com. We had our Mandarin-speaking researchers assist on this case so we could gather all the facts and details that were out there. Hopefully, this will be a comprehensive deep dive on the case. But as always, with foreign cases, please let us know in the comments if there was anything we missed, anything lost in translation, or any just extra details that you know about this one. And with that being said, let's get started. If you have plans to go on a cruise, or maybe like a long boat ride, some people might recommend that you pray to the goddess Mazu. Do you know the goddess Mazu?
Mazu?
Yes.
No.
Okay, well, her name translates to Eternal Mother. Does it not?
Oh, okay.
And many believe she's the goddess that watches over the seas. So for generations, seamen would go fishing off the coast of Taiwan only to come back to land and their eyes would be wide. Like, this is how goddess Mazu started her story. Their hair would be soaking wet, and they would tell the craziest stories of like, oh my God, our boat almost capsized, it almost flipped over, but then this woman came down from the sky in this red robe. She said her name was Mazu, and she saved us. She saved us. This is like hundreds of years ago. So unlike other goddesses, fishermen, sailors, anyone who claims to have been saved by goddess Mazu, they said that she never asked for anything in return. She's just this powerful, benevolent, compassionate, giving goddess. And eventually, people didn't just worship the goddess Mazu when they went into open waters, but even on land. She was kind of the goddess of life in Taiwan. She will protect you no matter what. And in New Taipei City, there's even a temple named after her. It was built 250 years ago, okay, which is technically crazy because that's around the same age as America. Yeah.
Oh,
so there's
shoot.
this temple built. It's very, very old. It's the Xuanshu Mazu Temple. And it's really interesting because there's actually a lot of temples in this area. This one was built 250 years ago, and it's actually pretty modest in size. So it's not one of these crazy olden day ancient buildings that's so massive and so grand. It's like a tiny little temple. But it's almost always jam-packed with tourists and locals. Some people will even say, I came from America, I came from all around the world just to be at this temple. The locals said this was one of the more favorable temples that you could pray at. Basically, a lot of your prayers may come true here at this very temple. Some people said they could feel it the moment that they walked in. There was this energy shift. According to people who have been there, once you walk in, you're hit with this scent of strong incense. And you're in the city, but you suddenly feel this just heavy peace. It's like a weighted blanket. You just feel at peace. It feels calm. And then you even forget what time it is. You're just in the moment praying. People are kneeling in front of sacred statues. Some people are lighting up new incense. Others are rearranging and setting up flowers and fruit platters at the altar. And it just feels like a very peaceful time of reflection. But that day, it would be shattered by this ear-piercing screech, like just blood-curdling. It's the type of scream that makes you want to kind of tilt your ear down because it sounds like nails on a chalkboard.
Ew.
And everyone is whipping their heads
Ew.
around trying to look for the direction of this scream because, I mean, obviously it's not a natural scream. Trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah. Nails on the chalkboard? Heck no. Heck no. One of my pet peeves. I hate that. And also the bottle top, the glass bottle top of soda or something like that. When you take it off and you screech it on the ground, bro, if I was in that temple and I heard that from afar, I will not wait for the god of the temple to respond to you. I'm responding first. I can't take that. I will reach you first before that god in the temple reaches you because I can't stand that sound. It's all peaceful here and you're screeching like, yeah, stop. Damn.
Going on. Everyone's frozen in the middle of whatever they're doing, in the middle of praying, arranging the fruit. Everyone is still, except this one woman is running frantically towards the temple. She's like sweating, her hair is a mess, her eyes are kind of like bulging out of her head.
Damn.
Everyone's freaked out. What is this woman going through? It seems like she's shaking from what though? Adrenaline, fear, psychosis? Like, why is she coming to the temple? She runs into the temple, completely disregards everybody in there, drops to her knees in front of the Mazu statue, and she starts blurting out a bunch of prayers. She's stuttering and nothing is making sense. Everyone can hear her train of thought and it's just jumbled, like scrambled eggs.
Is it the guy's wife who finally came to the temple to like confess, but wants to pray first? Yeah, maybe the woman's head keeps haunting, but I don't know how you're going to pretend that there's no woman's head in the freezer, man. Yeah, I can understand that. That is crazy.
It doesn't make sense. It's like she's verbally vomiting. She's sweating. She doesn't even look at anyone around her. She doesn't even realize that she's disturbing the peace. Everyone's looking at her like she's crazy. No, she just kept praying. Rubbing her palms together, word vomiting, shaking, sweating, and then nothing. She just stops, gets up, and leaves the temple, and everyone is like, what is going on? It was like she was in a trance, okay? She's just walking out one foot in front of the other until she ends up in front of a police station.
Oh, I knew it.
She's now sitting.
I knew it. So it looks like she came to pray because she needed that strength, and now she's going to the police station to report. But my question is, since he knows where your family and your parents are, did you relocate them? You have to find an exit strategy, an exit plan, because this guy is a psychopath. You don't want there to be like 7 heads in the fridge, you and your family. Relocate, and then let's see what the police do, because in these cases, some police are shit shows. They'll just listen to your case and be like, nah, nothing's wrong. And then everything goes wrong before they take action. I'm praying for her.
In front of these police officers, vomiting up the same thoughts and memories. It's like the floodgates had opened and everything is just spilling out at once on the table in front of them.
Sheesh.
The police are telling her, like, slow down, slow down. Okay, you're the janitor at the temple.
Huh?
And you what? I went to go clean the bathrooms. They're detached from the temple, maybe like 600 feet away. I went to clean the men's bathroom first, and I saw this plastic bag in there, right? It's one of those black grocery store flimsy plastic bags that you get, and clearly something was in there. And it was just sitting on the back of the toilet. So if you're using the restroom, your back would be to this bag, right? And she thought maybe it's takeout that someone forgot, or someone was just too lazy to throw their own trash away and left it for whoever would clean the restroom. So that's what she was gonna do. She was just gonna trash it. But then she was worried, what if someone didn't leave it? What if they accidentally left it and then there's something valuable in there and this is a temple, we get tourists, we get locals. You know, what if they come back looking for it? So she starts opening up the bag. There's like a tight knot on this black plastic bag. She's trying to get it open. And the minute that she undoes it, she said it's like the most pungent smell she's ever smelt in her life. Like someone sprayed something into her face. She'd never smelled anything like it. It was stinking up the whole bathroom. She's waving her hand in front of her nose, squinting her eyes, because it's the type of smelly that you feel like is going to absorb into your body. So you feel like you need to squint your eyes so it doesn't penetrate. And she's briefly debating, okay, maybe I should throw it away in the trash, assuming maybe it's seafood. That's what she's telling the police. Like, maybe I thought it was seafood that had gone bad, or maybe baby diapers that people had been just like leaving around. It smelled like it had been marinating for a while.
Oh.
But something in her head just told her to keep going. She keeps untying the bag. She finds more layers. Maybe it's curiosity. Maybe she knew that she would think about this bag every single night for the rest of the week when she laid in bed because she just needed to know what's in there. There's layers upon layers.
Layers of bags?
It's like she opens the bag and there's a jacket. So she's like taking out the jacket. Then there's a shirt. She's taking out and then there's plastic wrap. She's like, okay, what's going on? And then finally, a decapitated head.
Oh my goodness.
It was covered in salt. It was basically fermented.
Okay, so I was mistaken. This is not a lady. I guess this is a janitor of the temple. So somebody decapitated a head, walked all the way to the temple and left it in the bathroom? Yo, some people don't have no manners, man. You don't have manners for the physical. You don't have manners for the spiritual too. Bro, that is insane. Who's doing this? Is it the woman's husband doing this? Bro, the janitor is probably traumatized with a capital T. Bro, she had to pray to Mazu and whole Mazu's family before going to the police. That is crazy.
She cries to the police, like, I will never get this look out of my mind because the amount of salt that was covering this head, the head was shriveled up like a raisin. It was completely dry. So she's just letting this out all on the table. I mean, probably not organized like the way I just told you. It's like just coming out all at once, like she was in the temple. And the police are debating for a good minute. Maybe this janitor lost her mind. I mean, she looks kind of crazy. Her hair is a mess. Her eyes are like bulging out. She doesn't seem credible. But then right then, the phone rings. They're like, what is going on? A police station about 3 hours away was calling. We have a very strange letter, and it falls under your jurisdiction. So they're like, okay, yeah, just tell us the letter. Apparently, an anonymous letter was sent earlier this morning to that police station 3 hours away. They initially thought it was a prank. They didn't get around to it because they're like, first of all, that's 3 hours away. We've got nothing to do with this. This feels like a kid wrote it to scare us. So they disregarded it, but then they were thinking, you know what? Maybe we should just have a different police station look into it instead of us driving 3 hours. Okay, what does it say? It reads, hello, officer. Chen Wan Ting, we'll call her Cece. Cece's corpse is inside the men's restroom 600 feet away from a temple in New Taipei City. Please give her a burial. I can't deal with it. Thank you, a kind-hearted man.
Wow.
Now the officers are looking at the janitor like, okay, this is really bad. Like, whatever's going on is true and it's bad. So they...
Wait. Like, did the wife say something and then he unalived the wife and put the wife's head here? because she said we'll call her CC, which means her, because that is a lady. That's what I'm getting from Ron Mango. He said Chen wanting we'll call her CC, a kind-hearted man. You are a kind-hearted dildo. You are a kind-hearted piece of shit. You're an idiot, bro. You are the world's worst. You are a piece of rotten corpse. You said you couldn't deal with it. You put salt all over the person to have the head shriveled. It took out all the water from the person's hair. It's shriveled, bro. And you says, "Go, it's over there. I can't deal with it." This world is deadly, man.
Rush in their patrol cars, turn their lights on, the whole 9 yards. They start heading to the temple bathroom. They slam open the bathroom stall door, and the smell hits him hard. And the janitor was telling the truth. There was this black plastic bag sitting on the toilet. They opened it up, revealed the first layer, another plastic bag. So I guess she had put everything back where it was.
Oh my
then
goodness.
slowly peeled off another one to find another layer, a woven sack, then a jacket, a t-shirt, a pair of black floral shorts, and then lastly, a female pair of underwear covered in male bodily fluids.
Oh my God. Test it. Test it for DNA. Test it for DNA. Please. Test it for DNA. This guy's an idiot, bro. You are caught. You are caught. You man, a kind-hearted man? Yeah, you're a kind-hearted piece of shit. You're a kind-hearted man. You're caught, bro. And I hope it is your stupid semen over there. You're caught.
And underneath all 7 layers was a woman's decapitated head, covered in salt, and a little note. And the note read, "Identity equals Chen Wanting." Whoever left her head wanted the police to find her corpse. Not only that, but they wanted the police to know who the head belonged to. But why? Wouldn't that go against most criminals' best interest?
Yeah.
Maybe this wasn't even right. Maybe she wasn't Cece. Maybe this is a red herring. But as of right now, that is the strongest lead that they have. And it was time to figure out who is Cece, who wants her dead, and also where is the rest of Cece's body. The detectives find Cece. Well, they find her apartment. They don't find her, right? And they start questioning her neighbors one by one. And it all started the same. All of them were like, "Cece who?" Literally all of them. Nobody knew Cece. And the police would show them a picture because Cece has a missing persons poster. She's in the database. They show them a picture. She went missing 3 months ago, so not even that long ago. Come on, you guys are the neighbors. And they're like, "Oh my God, yeah, I know her. But we just called her little sweetheart around here." Like,
oh my goodness.
So the police are assuming, well, then that must mean you guys are very close to her because why would you call your neighbor a little sweetheart?
Right.
And all the neighbors are like, "No, absolutely not. We were not close at all." Some neighbors stated, some of us felt bad for her, but she was just not that fun of a person to be around. There were always these strange noises that would come out of her unit. Sometimes she would run out in her pajamas, stand in the hallway, and stare at anyone that passes by, and if you happened to make eye contact with her, she would start hysterically laughing.
What?
It was weird. There were always men coming in and out of that unit, and I think that they were assaulting her because she would run out of her apartment, her hair would be a mess, and her clothes looked like someone had been trying to rip them off.
Oh
and
my
she would
goodness.
scream, "This man is trying to assault me." And at first, as neighbors, we tried to help, but it just kept happening so frequently. And sometimes we didn't even know if we could believe her. She was always drunk or high. Some neighbors were a little bit more sympathetic. They said, we just all kind of felt bad for her. And we felt bad for her brother. He was the one that always took care of her. Like, no matter how bad she got, no matter if she went on a drug binge, and even his wife left him recently because of her. They say it's because she had a family emergency, like her grandma died or something. But we all know that she left because of all the family drama. She probably could.
Wait. This is a lot of information. So Cece, who is not Cece to her neighbors, but little sweetheart. And up to now, her neighbors are not able to tell us why they called her little sweetheart, because none of you are close to her, would run from her room periodically, hysterically laughing when you look at her. And then there were men coming in and out of her house. But you guys didn't know that she was being essayed. Bro, she got out with messy hair and clothes like they were trying to be ripped off, and there were men going in and out. Put two and two together. If they were not family members, and if they are not men that you see often, if you see them once, you see the men once and don't see them again, there's probably a pimp in there pimping her out, and she will keep running. And then she lost her grandma, so it looks like she's not stable. That's what I'm thinking. She's probably not a stable person, and they're pimping her. Her brother took care of her. Was her brother her pimp? And was her brother? Wait. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Couldn't handle the stress anymore. The victim was always going around accusing people of assaulting her or saying that she needed to be assaulted to make money.
The brother lives in this apartment?
The brother, yeah, they live together.
Yeah.
brother
Brother, Cece, and brother's wife
Yeah,
live in
but
this
the-
apartment.
The wife just left.
Right. Cece is dead.
Oh my goodness.
So the officers, they do more digging into Cece's past, and it was it was just grim. Okay, so Cece and her family, they were dealt some really shitty cards. Cece was the fourth of 6 siblings, which
Oh,
is
wow.
a huge family. I mean, factoring in 2 parents, that's 8 mouths to feed, and they weren't doing well financially. And then when Cece was a teenager, her father passed away from excessive drinking and I assume liver problems. So now Cece's mom was raising all 6 kids by herself. Thankfully, some of them were grown enough to move out of the house, but still, I mean, she was a single mom to a lot of kids. She was necessarily a bad mom. I think Cece's mom tried. She tried her best given the circumstances, but it just wasn't perfect. I mean, it wasn't even good. So she was working nonstop every single day, barely had time to rest. She definitely did not have time to educate her children, help them with homework, make sure that they weren't falling into bad influences. Like the kids were basically raising themselves. She did put food on the table. She put a roof over their heads, but that was about it. She just didn't have the capacity to do anything else.
And I feel sorry for her in the sense that even with the husband around, right? Even with your dad around, it was hard. There are 6 kids. And then the husband passes out. So it becomes even harder. Not twice as hard, maybe 4 or 5 times harder. Because if you're 2 parents, at least you can parent together. At least you can take plans together. At least everything can be expedited because it's like 2 people doing one, like taking care of 6 mouths. But now it's all you now. You have to go to work, come back, figure out a way to raise them, take care of bills, stuff like that. At the same time, bringing money, preparing food. Bro, I get the shitty card thing. She was dealt shitty cards. It is so sad, man. And there are a lot of people today living like that, man. No help at all. Like trying to figure it out. To all you, man, my heart goes out to you. I wish you the best. Life's hard for some people. It's not easy.
That was her priority. She's not like a tiger mom demanding to know, what are your grades? Like, sit down, show me your report card. She didn't do any of that. And so a lot of the kids, the teachers would say, we don't want to call it flaws, but they definitely seemed undersupervised. We could tell. Cece was actually called the school flower of her grade.
Huh?
Wow.
Yeah, so that's the term given to typically the prettiest girl in the entire school. Usually multiple popular boys would be trying to take her out on secret dates after school.
Also, not only that, but also have good grades.
Yes, but Cece was the exception.
Oh, really?
No good grades, yeah.
Oh, she was the flower that didn't blossom very well, but she was still the school flower. Wow. So among all the kids, even with her situation, she was labeled the school flower, which means boys would be wanting to. Oh, so that makes sense that her brother would have been pimping her out because they're having it hard anyway. But come on, man. Really? Damn. Oh my goodness. This family, man, no.
And her desk drawer was always filled to the brim with snacks, love letters from boys who had crushes on her, and she looked like an innocent girl next door. Almost like all the school flowers, that stereotypical look. She had more soft, rounded features. She's very conventionally pretty growing up. Okay, to give you context, when she was 15 years old, she's walking home from school and she hears this man behind her. Excuse me, student. Excuse me. Take my business card. I'm a scout for a huge entertainment agency, and I think that you are exactly what we're looking for.
Stop.
He runs off, and Cece throws away his business card.
No.
She did not care to be in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, but bro, oh yeah, and she wouldn't understand it either. She wouldn't understand that is a breakout. Bro, I'm waiting for an opportunity like that. Oh, around the world, we still even take my business card and call us. We need we need talent like you. Okay, bye-bye. No, I'm going with you wherever you're going. I'm going with you. You know why? Because I understand that is an opportunity of a lifetime. She probably did not understand that. That would have gotten them all, if not some of them, out of their situation. Oh, how I wish she knew what that meant. How I wish she knew. Dang it.
It's not because she was too busy studying or she wanted to focus on graduating high school. She straight up felt like the industry was lame. Like she was too cool for it.
Yeah,
so
but
high schoolers,
come on, man.
how high schoolers are. And for Cece, it was even worse because she was hanging out with these really intense crowds that felt like school is lame. Learning is lame. All of these things are lame. They would smoke, drink, skip class, and do drugs, which is insanely hardcore in Taiwan. Like, even for adults to do drugs, that's crazy. For high schoolers to do drugs, insanity. So to them, everything else was lame. And it seemed like Cece's mom knew what was going on, but like she didn't know how to stop it. It's not like she had the funds or the time to just sit there and make sure that Cece went to school. She would yell at her, because eventually Cece would be, it escalated to the point where she was expelled from school. So her mom is yelling at her, but it's not working. Cece drops out of high school and she gets married at 18 years old. Even her friends were like, 18? Like, you should wait. You have so many guys that like you. You should explore your options. Don't tie yourself down so quickly. Like, why would you do that? Cece had what they called lover's brain. There was no talking to her about this guy. She was in so deep. I mean, she felt like this guy was the savior of the planet, the whole reason that she was born, for this moment, to be his bride. Like, to put it mildly, I mean, she was in love with this man. And I'm sure that there's some trauma there. Like, maybe this is the first person that made her feel like she could be herself. Maybe it's the first person that loved her. I don't know. Maybe he was filling some sort of father figure role. So they get married.
Nah, I mean that kind of thinking, it's the same, man. When I first had my favorite food, I can remember I was a teenager. I thought I was born for that moment. Every bite of that food was like, oh man, I was born for this. It's so good. It's so cool, man. Except 20 minutes later, I was in the toilet, just like crapping everything out, and that was our divorce. Like. This lover's brain thing, man, it's crazy. Like, I understand. And especially when you're growing up, like after you hit puberty, like hormones are raging. You don't have a dad at home to help your mom teach you stuff like this. Your adult siblings are all trying to fend for themselves. So it's like, who is the next person that she would listen to? Somebody that comes to swoop her off her feet. Somebody that would come, show her love, she's gone because she doesn't get love at home. And it's not because they are horrible people. They just can't afford it. They just can't afford it. They have to work their ass off. So in some way, like, she had lover's brain and all that, but in another way, she wasn't getting that attention, that love, that connection at home. It was just her friends in school. Fell through bad habits, and the next person that came was somebody that promised them marriage and stuff like that. Saw the person as a stable figure. The stability she lacked in her childhood, she saw it in this guy. So now, what does she do? Marry him, and she's 18. She doesn't care. It's sad.
married very quickly, and then have a child together. Cece is 18, and so is he. And that's where the problem, the downfall
He's
of their marriage
18
comes in.
too?
Every able-bodied male citizen in Taiwan is required to serve in the military for, I think, a little over a year. I think it's like 16 months. I think 4 months of like basic training and then 12 months of active duty. I don't know if they categorize that as a year or 16 months, right? And her husband is like, okay, bye, gotta go enlist in the army. It's the law. Good luck with the kid.
Right. It's 18. They're both 18. I thought the guy was probably like 21, 22. It's not like it's better, but at least it's better than 18. You guys are barely adults. You have sex twice and you're over each other because you don't understand what love and marriage is. You're moving off of feelings. That is 18-year-olds, I'm telling you. Bro, at 18, you see something, you feel something in you, you feel that is your life's purpose. That thing, the feeling gets out of you and you're over it. You're looking for the next thing. That is 18. This is disastrous. It's crazy. I'm sorry, but I don't see it lasting.
Cece gets her life together while he's gone. I don't know if it's a conscious choice. I don't know if she sat down one day and was like, we got this. I got to change. Or if it just like happened gradually. I'm not sure. But while her husband is in the army, she's like the epitome of a try-hard single mom in the best way possible. She's working, cleaning the house, taking care of the child. Any free time she had, she would talk to her friends about how perfect her husband was.
Oh,
She had this calendar where she counted down all the days until he was back. And her friend said it's like someone went into her brain and installed like a love potion where she can only think about this one person, and it's her husband.
that is her only stability. You know, like if you understand psychology and the reason why people choose the partners they choose, mostly you can tie it to how they are raised and what the void they have in them, right? She was missing a father figure for part of her life. She was missing stability, period. She was missing stability. You come, you show up as a nice looking guy, gentleman, everything fairly good looking and anything, and you come off as stable. She's going with you. She is going with you. That's what she craved. So in her head, that's her Mr. Perfect right there. That is what she's been missing all her life. And it's sad that she's 18 and can't realize that that is not the case. It's sad.
Every single day, she would get so excited to do the little red X on another day, one day closer for her husband coming back. So a few weeks are remaining before he's finally out. And Cece gets a letter in the mail, and she's like skip hopping back to the apartment to open it up. It's from the love of her life, right? She's carefully ripping it open because she's like saving all of his letters. And as she's reading it, her smile is fading. Tears are just streaming down her cheeks. She's gripping the letter tighter and her knuckles are white. By the end of it, all she feels is pure rage and anger. Her husband wrote to her to say, basically, hey, thanks for waiting for me and taking care of our child all alone. But once I get out, I'm going to live my life. You know, my parents don't think that you're good enough for me and I don't want anything to do with you or the baby. So good luck. Cece's like, okay, this has got to be a joke. It's a joke. It's a prank. It's maybe one of those things that people do in the army. Like, you know how you have to get initiated into the army? Maybe the other army bros made him write this, right? And then he's going to come home in a few. It'll be fine. It'll be fine, right? It wasn't fine. How to contact him even when he was returning, when he was out of the army. She couldn't track him down.
Yeah, she's 18. At 18, you don't even know what you want, let alone marry. Like, I don't know who advised both of them to go through with the marriage, but there was a lot. Bro, at 18, I didn't even know how, like, responsibility. I didn't understand responsibility. The responsibility I understood was getting my schoolwork done. That was the level of responsibility I understood and took serious. Bro, in college, it was like getting work done. That was it. I couldn't afford to have somebody beside me and stay. How am I going to start taking care of you? It was going to be hard, to be honest. Like, I can't see an 18-year-old making rational decisions. He probably went to the army, met like-minded guys who were like, man, I can't wait to leave. When I leave, I'm gonna live my life. I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna do that. And he was like, it clicked in his head, like, oh man, I'm gonna go home to my wife and kid. Is that what an 18-year-old wants to do? Hell no, man. I'm divorcing even before I get there. I'm going to chill with my buddies. I'm going to have sex with different girls. I'm going to drink and drink and drink and stuff like that. That is an 18-year-old brain talking. And guess who becomes the victim? This girl who's had it hard all her life becomes the victim again of hardship. And now with a kid. Shh.
He never came back. So eventually she comes to terms with the fact that, okay, this is my new life. She drops off her child at a relative's house. She said, I can't look at my kid anymore because looking at my kid reminds me of my husband.
So she also abandoned the child.
Yeah. She packs her bags, moves to a nearby city. She's 22 when this happens, and she fully snaps. It was sudden. It's weird. One day her friends were comforting her. She's devastated, which is to be expected after such a shitty breakup, right? But the next day, it's like the old Cece gone. Her friends noticed that one day her makeup was just regular Cece makeup, very light, clean, right? Then it's just so heavy. Like smoky eye, intense pigmented colors all over her face. I mean, she's still beautiful. That makeup style is beautiful. It was just so sudden. Like, you know how people chop off all their hair when they're not feeling great mentally? Or like every girl dyes their hair after a breakup? That was kind of the vibe. So they're like, okay, maybe we should just keep an eye on her. But then it starts getting weirder. Cece starts wearing her pajamas out and just mindlessly strolling around the neighborhood. If someone would make eye contact with her, she would stop walking, just like stop walking, stare at them, and tilt her head up to the sky and start hysterically laughing.
So she's going through something mentally, right?
Yeah, and it was kind of creeping people out. A lot of people would cross the street to avoid walking past her. And
Man, this is the saddest thing I've ever heard, man. My heart goes out to Cece. This is crazy. It's something. Well, you can blame her for certain things like, well, abandoning your child. But remember, she's 18. I mean, she was 22 then. No direction whatsoever. No direction. She's figuring this out. We're listening to somebody figuring out a life on her own, where she left a family that was chaotic. Not that they're bad people, but they're also trying to figure out life on their own too. And now it's affecting her mentally. Her mental is all effed up. And instead of people offering her help, they see her, they get creeped out, and then bro, can you even blame them? Like, you see somebody like that, you're gonna get creeped out too. You'll be like, oh my goodness, what a psycho. Boop, you're out of there. But she was going through a lot. I've never felt this bad wow, bro. Sometimes we are quick to judge as a people. Remembering what the neighbors told the deputies, the investigators, even makes it more sad because they were all like, nah, we're not close to her. She's crazy. She'll run and she'll be laughing. Bro, she was going through stuff. And nobody even cared to ask her questions. Dang, bro. Cece had an unenviable life. This is sad.
Cece's friends believe that this is kind of when she went mad. Her only life goal from this point on was just to drink and get high. And it's clear she's trying to self-medicate with whatever's going on in her head. She's not okay. She's not showering. She's not taking care of herself. I mean, Cece's mom is trying to help by giving her around $250 a month, which doesn't cover the necessities, but that's all Cece's mom had left. And Cece would use it on drinking and smoking.
Oh.
No job would hire her, so Cece starts engaging in sex work. Her pricing was $15 to touch her breast, $80 for full intercourse, or at least that's how it started. And then eventually, when her addiction got really bad and she was really desperate, some clients said that her pricing would drop down to $8 for full
Oh my
intercourse.
God, stop.
And the thing that with
Just
sex
stop.
work,
Just stop. Just stop. Just stop. Just stop. Just stop, man. I am so sorry if in the past I misjudged somebody, man, because of life choices, because of I am so sorry. Like doing these cases and psychology, some psychology I learned in college, like I'm understanding a lot. People make choices not based, sometimes it's not based on what they want. It's based on the circumstance they find themselves in. Look at Cece, man. She was drinking, smoking in college, in high school, whatever it is, whatever it was. Found some stability in the young man that promised marriage, gave her all to him, was ready for a new life. And this man left her world crushing again. And because she's had no direction, she's trying to figure this thing called life out. She's trying. Look away leads her to sex work because she hasn't gained employable skills. So she can't get employed. Now somebody will sit down and say, yeah, why didn't she try? She should have wrote. You don't understand, man. If your mental health is effed up, you don't even think about basic stuff. I'm telling you. I've been down and close to depression before, and you don't even think about stuff. You get out of it and you were like, was that how low I got? You don't understand if you haven't been there. You just do not. You don't understand. So before you judge somebody, get to know them first. Bro, I came here alone. I met people that loved me. I left the people that loved me to a place where I was rejected. It was hard. Just the psychological thing, bro, you don't understand if you haven't been through it. I know some people have had the Chris Wu type of life where you've had opportunity upon opportunity and upon opportunity, and then everything was so easy for you. So things like this sound absurd to you, and you are able to judge. You think judging people is the way to go. No, some people haven't had that. Some people just want one opportunity they couldn't get. And the opportunity she had, she was too little to even understand that it was going to get her out of poverty. When she was given the card, she didn't even understand that. She chose a life of self-medication, which is smoking, drinking, engaging in acts, rather than like seeing the card for what it was, which was bro, stop. This is so sad. Are you kidding me? Sometimes we should show people grace. I'm sorry if I misjudged people because I didn't understand certain things. I'm sorry because I know that my young mind, when I was very young, probably misjudged a lot of things.
Okay, personally, I never judge anyone that is engaged in sex work. And I know right now we're in the process of everyone trying to destigmatize sex work, which I think is great. But one reality that just cannot be avoided is when you're engaging in this type of work, person to person, it's very dangerous. Like any person to person job is dangerous.
Now, saying that, I do not support sex work. I do not support sex work. But at the same time, I don't think we should judge people out of the blue. I believe some people are in situations that they couldn't control. You know, is sex work the way to go? No. But do they have other opportunities? That's a question we should ask ourselves. And what can we do to help? Because I know there are a lot of people that probably do not like that lifestyle.
Cece would often bring home clients because she couldn't afford a second location and they didn't want to pay for hotels. Or if they did, they're like, okay, then I'm going to deduct it from what I'm paying you.
Are you serious?
So she would bring these clients home. And oftentimes they would just brutally assault her and leave without paying. And now that she's acquiring more trauma, she needs more alcohol, more to kind of calm that pain down. And all the neighbors knew. They knew what was going on. These clients didn't even try to hide it. I mean, they would just hear terrified screams coming out of that apartment, banging, yelling, threatening, and then a door would slam shut and then someone stomping away and then the door opens again and Cece's running, demanding to be paid. Originally in the beginning, some neighbors felt so bad for her that they even gave her money here and there. But they felt frustrated because things would never change. You know, Cece would keep bringing people home and they would keep assaulting her. And it just, the neighbors felt like we're not doing so great either, you know? Which brings the investigators to think, okay, what if this is some deranged client? I mean, this wouldn't be the first time, right? Look at everything that happens in the US. Serial killers targeting sex workers because they're easy targets, they go unnoticed. And they have confirmation that Cece's clients weren't the best law-abiding group of civilians out there. What if some sick, twisted, deranged client had this fantasy that would involve taking Cece's life? So they're like, let's run the DNA. The investigators run the male fluid DNA that was found on Cece's undergarments that were wrapped around her head. They also had CCTV footage of a man walking towards the temple bathroom with a plastic bag in their hand, which I know what you're thinking. Okay, that's the easiest way to ID them, right? But the guy is completely covered up. I mean, in the video, it just wasn't that useful, at least right now. Like to look at that video and then look at all the men nearby, it's not gonna work. So the DNA is really everything that they had. They run it. Now, there's a strong possibility that it's not going to match to anyone in the system. That person's not in the system yet. But it comes back with a hit. A local taxi driver.
Huh?
Had been frozen before being covered in salt. Did he try to pickle her? What was the point in preserving her head? To not draw suspicion on odor? But then why leave anonymous notes at a police station 3 hours away? And then what about the note in the bag that pointed to the victim's identity? Was the taxi driver just purely unhinged? Or is there some sort of long game that they're playing? The taxi driver did not answer any of these questions because he's like, I didn't even know Cece was dead. He's explaining like, you gotta believe me. I only slept with her a few times. I was a client. Like, you can arrest me for that if that's what you want to do, but I didn't murder her. And that's not me on the CCTV footage because that night, I have proof. I have witnesses. I was nowhere near that temple when the bag was placed in the bathroom. I was working. The police checked his alibi and it cleared. The taxi driver is not the killer. So then who the hell is the killer? It all comes back down to a fortune teller. The investigators are sitting at their desk trying to figure out what the hell is wrong here. It doesn't make sense. Someone killed Cece, and we've got a ton of neighbors that know every little thing that's going on in there, every little mental breakdown that she's had. They saw it, yet nobody saw anyone suspicious, like a new man lingering around. And then it hit them. They're like, okay, all the neighbors, they know so much about her, or at least we thought they did, right? But remember in the beginning when I said as they're investigating, all the neighbors are like, Cece who? Oh, that neighbor, once they see the picture. Records show that Cece legally changed her name to Cece. That's not her real name. It is now. But maybe like a few months ago, it wasn't her name. That's not what everyone in the apartment building knew her by. Apparently, Cece had gone to a fortune teller to ask her about her life. And in a lot of Asian cultures, the mom's name or a woman's name can determine not only her own fate, but the fate of her child as well. And the fortune teller told her, all your hardships, your divorce, they're all going to be passed on to your child, even if you're not with your child right now, unless you change your name. So Cece went, and she changed her name legally. She went from Chen Ahi to Chen Wanting. And she told nobody except a handful of those closest to her, but the letter had Chen Wanting on there.
Oh, the letter had a new name. Because she was Chen Ahi. I'm sorry if I'm saying the name wrong, but she was Chen Ahi, and she changed it to Chen Wanting. And they didn't know that she was Chen Wanting, but a few people. The letter had Chen Wanting. So the person that committed this is part of the people that knew that she was Chen Wanting, part of the few that knew that. So they can start erasing suspects out from that pool of people that knew she was Chen One Team.
Wow.
So that means her killer is someone that knew her intimately. It's not a random client because she never gives her real name to clients. It's someone very, very close to her. Even neighbors didn't even know the new name.
Right.
Wow. That is a detail that, wow.
So maybe a boyfriend, maybe a pimp, right? They go back to investigating and they're asking around to see if Cece had someone close to her that seemed dangerous. And all the neighbors are like, I mean, I guess this is kind of random, but she did casually mention quite a few times that she had to go sleep with her brother to make money.
What?
And the police are like, her brother? Like, why would you not say that? And they're like, her brother Fang. That's what we're calling him. And then so they're like, why would you not tell us that when we first asked you about it? And the neighbors are like, yeah, no. I just thought she was saying like brother, like client, friend, man, like, hello, brother. You know what I mean? Hello, bro. I didn't think she was actually talking about her actual brother. But then now that you're asking, oh, is there someone very close to her? I guess like that comes to mind. I mean, these are very big details. So the police are going back to all the neighbors asking.
I guess
okay,
also it's
yeah.
like the brothers maybe like Koreans too, like oppa.
Yeah.
So you can call someone oppa, but your actual brother, you also call them oppa. It's like that, gugu, like.
Oh, yes, but it's not like my biological brother. It's
Yeah.
like just a male that's older than me.
Yes.
Yes. So they're like, oh, well, I thought she was talking about clients.
Yeah.
And the police are like, okay, what else can you think about? Like, just think anything, any little detail. Come on, think. There were rumors that the brother was a little weird, that Fang had an obsession. Okay, this is what the neighbors are saying. Some said that he had a journal that he kept about an actress named Jeannie. She's a Taiwanese actress. And even Jeannie came forward after this case broke to say, like, yeah, that actually happened. So apparently he had a journal that documented his love for her, and he declared himself her husband. He would send her tissues filled with male bodily fluids, threatening her if that she filmed any romantic scenes with any other men, very bad things would happen to her.
Yeah, you declared yourself her husband. I'm declaring you clinically insane and a psychopath. Like, what is wrong with you? Fang? What? And you declaring yourself her husband, and then if she films any romantic scenes, you are deranged. And for you to sleep with your sister, I hope sleeping with is contextual, which means she came to spend the night there so she can save money. But if it is sleeping with that is incestual, bruh.
He would even go to her fan meets to try and shake her hand, and God knows what else he was trying to do. But the neighbors are saying, listen, we don't know for sure, okay? It's just a rumor around the block that he's kind of weird. And the police are like, okay, what else? Like, what else could you have missed? Because it seems like you missed a lot of things, right? And one of the neighbors states, and there's the meat grinder.
Huh?
These days, someone in that apartment unit has been chopping up meat. Like, you can hear the knife hitting the butcher block. So it's like someone chopping up a chicken, like a whole chicken. Like, you know, when you're chopping up chicken breasts, you're not going to hear it from the apartment next door. But if I'm there butchering a chicken trying to get through bone, then you might hear it.
Bro, some neighbors are just the worst, man. Some neighbors are, as a neighbor, you have to mind your own business. I get it. But when something is this weird, this very clearly weird, I do not care, man. If I'm here and I hear doom, 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 doom every night, bro, if I'm scared to talk to you, I'm talking to the apartment, the leasing office. I'm going to talk to them. If I am scared, man, I'm calling the police. Just go check that everything is okay. Let's make it anonymous. Just check if everything's. You know, there's a meat grinder in there that worked every time, and then somebody's missing, and you waited for her to come up as unalive before you even tell authority. And you saw her come out, running out, saying she was essayed and everything. None of you knuckleheads could call authority. None of you did. Because she was an ass worker. Sheesh, man. Humanity, man. You think you could put your faith in humanity? You think when you're down, everybody would cheer you up to get up? Watch this and learn from it. Nobody gives a damn.
Well, we keep hearing it. And then the meat grinder is just going nonstop at night. But we never assumed it was strange because the brother Fang is a chef.
But
He
at
works
night,
with
though?
a lot of meat. We just thought his sleep schedule had just shifted to be nighttime instead of daytime. And like, how are we supposed to know?
它湿湿的血水，清清的啦，不是很红的那种。
好像有肝啊什么不知道，是好像内脏之类的，就是留下。
So the police are like, okay,
Damn!
when was this?
Bro, did you hear that? Something like intestines leaking from the pipe, and you shut the hell up till something happened, and now you are telling them? For what reason? For what reason? You saw something like intestines coming out of the pipe. You thought it was meat. I would say no. I want them to rule it out as not meat first. And if you can't talk to Fing, call the police to just check it out.
Around the time that Cece stopped showing up. So I guess around the time that she disappeared. The investigators are like, all right then, we're gonna need a whole team here, stat. If neighbors are suggesting and the police are theorizing that the brother could have killed his own sister, that means he would have likely dismembered her, ground up her flesh, and what would you do if you're the killer? Probably dispose of her body parts in a toilet or kitchen sink drain. We have to check all the septic tanks, sewage systems. We need to check the pipes to see if Cece's DNA is in there. The police also went in to search the unit now with where Fang and Cece lived, and they found very curious evidence. They found several knives with big dents on the blades, like someone was dismembering something much bigger than a chicken. They found Cece's DNA found in the inside the slow cooker.
The slow cooker?
They found her DNA inside the pots, not on the outside, inside. And I'm sure the DNA was not like a piece of hair.
Oh my gosh.
They also found her DNA on knives. The evidence suggests that Fang killed his own sister, dismembered her, and then cooked her remains, probably so it would be easier to dispose down the drains or down the toilet. So bear with me. Theory is dismembered, meat grinder, cooked, then flushed in the toilet, right? The cops found nothing in the septic tank or the sewage system or the pipes.
What?
But they found it in the pot.
Yes, and nowhere else in the house.
Oh,
Oh, were they eating it? Bro, were they not eating? Bro, no, don't tell me that. They were not eating it. They were not eating her sister. They were not eating her sister. They were not. They were not. Please.
so you're saying that he didn't flush it down?
No.
That's crazy.
So we still don't know to this day what he did. We just know not down the drains. She was cooked, and then what happened next? I mean, the obvious question is, did he consume her? Did he let others consume her? We don't know. So Cece's mom, she hadn't been able to get in contact with Cece for the past 3 months. That's why she filed that missing persons report. And ever since she found out Cece had been murdered, she had not been able to get any sleep. She had just so many regrets as a mother, one of the biggest being that after all of her kids had grown up, the whole family moved to a neighboring city to find more opportunities and work. Everyone, right? Except for brother Fang and daughter Cece. They stayed behind in their hometown, and Cece's mom would make the trip down to the hometown every single week just to check up on Cece. But at least she's like, you know what? One of my eldest kids, my second son, is taking care of Cece, looking after her. She said that Cece was struggling with her mental health, so the whole family knew that Fang was, particularly attentive towards his younger sister. But towards the end of 2012, Cece just dropped off the face of the earth. She would never respond to text messages, calls, nothing. She also just stopped coming home, and Fang is like, I don't know where she is. They all try searching for her by themselves. The family does. They're calling her, lingering around the apartment, trying to find friends, asking neighbors. Nobody's seen her. They finally file a missing persons report. And the mom, she admitted, I was worried that something bad happened to my daughter. But we were more leaning towards the fact that maybe she met someone new. Maybe she was out drinking. None of them thought that her head would be found in a plastic bag left at a temple bathroom. Which, speaking of, in a last-ditch effort to try and solve this case, the police bring in Cece's mom one more time. They had already traumatized this poor woman. She was asked to identify her daughter's remains, and since they didn't want to mess with the evidence too much, she basically had to see her daughter's head decapitated and covered in salt. She also saw the clothes that were wrapped around her daughter, and she had bought those clothes for her daughter.
Oh.
And so it was really rough. The officer said that she was grabbing onto their jackets, shaking them, like bawling on the ground, screaming, "Tell me what happened. You need to figure out what happened."
I know a lot of... I know some of you will probably lay a lot of blame on her. I would not. She didn't have it easy. She didn't have money. She had to feed all those mouths. And even when they left for opportunity and Cece and her brother Fang were the only ones left in their hometown, she took frequent trips to see how Cece was doing. She did what she could as a mother. She did what she could. What else should she have done? She did what she could. Oh my goodness, bro. And then you had to see your daughter's decapitated head in the salt that had made it shrivel. And the dress you bought for your daughter is what she wore. Ugh. Talk about how life could be cruel. How life could be cruel. Extremely cruel.
I don't know how she's gonna cope with
Damn.
daughter. Like,
Yeah, it's like a moment where the mom, I think, realized that true evil existed in this world, and her daughter must have come face to face with the devil. That's the feeling. So the officers.
That devil is your son. Like,
Yeah.
How do you even?
It's kind of surprising her reaction later.
What?
So the officers, they hesitantly bring in the mom again, and they start asking the questions about her son's relationship with the daughter. And I mean, obviously the mom is taken off guard. She feels like the police are kind of framing it all strange, which, I mean, clearly it's not like that. She's saying, no, my son Fang is a good kid who's helping take care of my younger daughter. He probably wasn't the best caretaker. She's still engaged in sex work and did drugs. And like, yes, I know that's bad, but we're all doing the best that we can. The officers finally show her the CCTV footage. This is like March of 2013, so Taiwan in March is not that cold, not puffer jacket cold. He's wearing a puffer jacket, wearing a mask, sunglasses, and a curly wig, like an ajumma wig, an old lady wig, which just felt so off-putting, right? Very strange. The figure is seen covered up completely, like they don't want to be recognized. They're holding a black plastic bag, and they disappear near the temple because there's no more CCTV cameras. They walk back out without the plastic bag. So Cece's mom takes one look at the footage, and she feels destroyed. In the span of like a week or two, she identified her daughter as the brutal murder victim and her son as the predator and killer of her daughter. And everyone's just wondering, why would the brother do this? The theory is her brother was her pimp, and things had escalated until he killed her. It's speculated that they themselves had a very twisted relationship. So Fang would allegedly pimp her out, take most of the money that she earned, minus the money that she would need to spend on drugs. He really only allowed it because drugs would be the way to keep her compliant. It would be to keep her in check, make her easy to control. Which is, this part is already so sick and twisted, especially between siblings. But even worse than that, it's suspected that he was sexually abusing his own sister. Their mom would send Cece $250 a month, but she would ask her son Feng to take the money first and then split it into small payments and give it to Cece throughout the month because she was worried if she gave it to her all at once, it would just go to drugs, right? And to Cece's mom, it appeared like her son Feng was just this nice older brother, but in reality, he was dangling the money over Cece's head to get her to perform sexual acts for him, his own sister.
Are you serious? Fang is a deranged piece of shit. He's a garbage person. He's a garbage human being. Your own sister needs help, and you want her to perform oral on you or sexual acts on you before you get. That's your sister. That's your freaking sister. That's your freaking sister. Fang, you're an idiot, bro. No, you're not, bro. What the heck? You deserve to be in prison. You shit. Oh my goodness.
Sure. It's speculated that this is just how it started. For 14 years.
What?
And eventually, after 14 years, Cece's not bringing in enough money for Fang. She's becoming a liability. She's 39 years old at this point. She's been in this line of work for the past at least 14 years. I mean, this would have taken a large toll on her mental health, physical health, and if we're being very thorough, also on her appearance, because drugs are known to be very, very damaging to, I guess, appearance. Not that that's the biggest thing, but in this line of work, it might matter, you know? And Fang decides it's time to move on. He also thinks about his own life. He's like, you know what? I want to start a family. I want to have a wife and kids. And I can't do that when there's strange men in and out of the house. And my sister is making explicit noises in the room next door. Like, I can't do that. What would my wife think? So that's one problem. But another problem is that in China, there's something called a dowry. It's not required by law or anything, but it's pretty standard. Since there are a lot more men than there are women in China to get married, men have gotten kind of creative. And it's also a tradition, right? Some men will get creative trying to secure a family. They will bring lump sums of cash to the bride's family, shower the bride with gold, literally gold, gift them luxury items, all these things to be able to marry the woman that they love, right? Now, typically the dowry is different amongst each marriage and class. It's a lot of money, and it typically it shouldn't bankrupt a man and his family, right? So it just depends on how well you're doing financially. But Fang had just met a woman from Fujian on a blind date, and he wants to marry her. They don't even know each other, but he's like, you know what? She's nice. She's willing to move to Taiwan. The only thing is, he would need to pay $35,000 for a dowry. What's wild, though, is that her family didn't even request a dowry. They said, actually, our daughter being able to move to Taiwan is enough for us. We think that she'll have more opportunities in Taiwan. But he's like, no, I'm going to get you guys a dowry. I'm going to take out a loan and give you a dowry. And she's tying up loose strings, his wife, packing her things in mainland China to move to Taiwan. So after his marriage, he's like, you know what? This is the time to get rid of my sister, because there's no other time. Once my wife moves here, I can't get rid of my sister. It's time for my sister to be useful again. Fang had worked in the insurance industry before all of this, so he knew a lot about life insurance, how it worked, how to get paid. So starting in 2011, this is 2 years before the murder. It's a meticulously thought out plan. Fang starts buying up life insurance policies for his sister, totaling up to $250,000, $250,000, 2 years before her death. Then he killed her, and then he sent the letter. Now, this is not for his own guilt that he wants his sister to at least be buried and rest in peace. No, it was for insurance purposes. Fang knew that if his sister's death couldn't be confirmed and she had only disappeared, he would have to wait on average 7 years to claim the money. That is too long. He needed the authorities to know who this was so that they could confirm her death, and he could get paid $250,000. That's why he also chose a very public bathroom at a temple to do it, so her head would be found faster. But he did try to confuse the police with the taxi driver DNA, so he found underwear, wrapped her in it, right? And he made sure to kill his sister before his new wife moved in, slowly disposing of her remains. So it's assumed that the rest of her body was dismembered and ground up. But the only problem was he needed to keep the head because that's what would give him the life insurance payout. That's the ID.
She needed to keep the head because that is what gives him the life insurance payout. Bro, are you hearing this? How demonic can people be? How evil can people be? How? Just for life insurance policy, you do that to your own sister, who for 14 years have had you pimp her to strangers. 14 years. What?
And he didn't have time to get rid of the head before his new wife moved in.
That's crazy. So the
So-
wife doesn't even know that's the sister.
No, because she never met the sister. But she did hear that the sister had gone missing.
But the wife didn't go to the police.
No. Yeah. So Fang's wife, she goes by Mrs. Lu in the media, but we'll call her Lucy, right? She's the one from the beginning of this story. Authorities tracked her down in mainland China and started asking her questions about the relationship. And they said at first she seemed really traumatized and scared. She refused to talk. She kept asking if they were 1,000% sure if Fang was going to be locked up for good for this. And when they finally assured her, yes, he cannot touch you, he cannot do anything to you or your family, then she started telling them the story of how she found a head in their freezer. She said that she moved to Taiwan looking for a better life compared to her hometown. That's honestly a pretty big reason why she married him, right? But when she got there, she realized pretty quickly, okay, it's kind of the same as my hometown. It's not bad, but it's the same as my hometown, same amount of opportunities, but instead I'm away from my family and friends.
Right.
Instead, I'm isolated. So it's just kind of, for her personally, she didn't like it. And now that she had married this guy, she's like, okay, maybe we can find love. She tries so hard, and at first it was kind of cute. He's cooking, he's always in the kitchen. And she thought he always seemed mature. He had a provider mindset, right? But then slowly, after she saw the head in the fridge, and even just a little bit before, there were these little red flags that she would see. He kept telling her, after the head, that he bought her. He didn't say he married her. He said he bought her. That she
What?
was his and he could return her or do whatever else he wanted with her because she belonged to him. He also
Yo, your mom should have bought you a brain, not a human. You need a brain because you are acting so stupid, self-centered, narcissistic, everything. You bought her? No, you didn't. You didn't buy her. You couldn't afford to buy a human. You can't. Humans are priceless. She agreed so you could marry her. And I believe she's regretting every single bit of it because you are a stupid piece of shit and you look like one. I mean, are you serious?
also talked a lot about his little sister, and the words that he used made Lucy very uncomfortable. He would call Cece, quote, not a good thing. He always talked about how promiscuous she was and how it disgusted him, how she had fallen to drugs and drinking, and now she's gone. And Lucy's like, oh, what happened to your sister? I used to live with her, but now she's missing. Did you report her missing? No. Lucy remembered trying to bring up Cece again and again, and she's like, okay, if your sister is missing, no matter how much you disagree with her lifestyle, you still have to report her missing because that's basic human decency, right?
Right.
But Fang refused. He yelled at her to stay out of it, don't stick her nose in where it doesn't belong, and know her place, basically. So that, with the head, I mean, she's in Taiwan, she's got no friends, no one to trust. It felt like Fang would just kill her too if he knew that she knew about what he did. Even if he suspected that she knew, her life was in danger. So she waited a few weeks to come up with a believable lie that her family member died and she had to go back for the funeral. She managed to escape to her family, but she had zero proof of what she saw. And at that point, she's like, he's probably gotten rid of the head. Even when she was telling her family about it, some people were looking at her like she lost her mind. I mean, there was no way that the police were going to believe her. And if they investigated without convicting Fang, she would have a big target on her back. She knows he would have killed her too.
Right.
She knows it, even if she never saw the head. Because now, after learning about all of this, Lucy said after moving to Taiwan, he kept bringing her to all these life insurance companies trying to get life insurance on her. And they all said, we can't because she's not a permanent resident of Taiwan yet. So she can't have life insurance here. She can have it in mainland China, but not here, at least not right now. And she said Fang seemed really disappointed. And she's like, well, I don't have plans on dying anytime soon. I'm in my 20s.
Oh, she's only 20s.
Yeah. And Fang said, the aliens made him do it. Okay, let me explain.
What?
Yeah, so the police go in to arrest Fang, Cece's own biological brother, and authorities thought, this guy is sick and twisted. We don't know what he's been doing. He might try to use force. He might try to fight back and get violent. So they blindside him, sneak up in the apartment building, kick down the door, slam him up against the walls, handcuff him, and Fang did
piece
not
of shit.
fight. He actually went limp, like a rag doll. It was odd. And then they heard this like trickle noise, and he had peed himself. So the 4 officers, they had to carry him out. He apparently couldn't even walk anymore. It was a lot. There was just pee trailing behind him.
Yikes.
But still, being officers, they're thinking, oh, easy peasy. This guy's gonna confess so quickly, right?
Easy peasy. Because he peed on himself. It's not going to be easy peasy. This guy has a pea brain, and you're not going to extract it from him. He's probably going to give you a stupid reason. That's how I feel. And, man, you see? They came from the same family. I'm giving his sister Grace. Right? Cece. I'm giving Cece a lot of grace, a lot of understanding. I can't give this piece of shit understanding, though. I can't. He's a predator. You know the situation you and your sister came from. You did. You know it. And then you decide to pimp her out. You decide to be a predator to your own sister and essay her too. And then at the end of the day, get rid of her. What kind of piece of shit are you? Are you serious right now?
He's got no backbone. He's already so terrified. He knows he's screwed. But when they sit him down in the interrogation room, it's like he's a different person. They're like, where was that guy in the car just 2 seconds ago? He's calm, collected. He either stayed silent and gave the officers nothing, or he deflected all the questions. He even calmly threatened to file complaints against the police for coercion. So
shut up. You need you need things filed for you for peeing. You sitting there pee soaked trying to act tough. Your shorts, your trousers, your pants are full of pee. How about that? Explain that. You stink of pee. You reek. Your whole pants is pee soaked. You can't sue nobody. We'll sue you for littering. You're pee littering. You walked in the whole trail of pee from your house to the police station. How dare you? Who are you suing? You pea brain, pea soaked piece of shit. Pea.
Imagine arresting someone, they're peeing themselves because they're so scared. They've seemingly lost all bodily functions. But then a minute later, they're in the interrogation room smelling of urine, and they're saying,
Thank you.
Officer, you shouldn't ask questions like that. According to Criminal Code 97.
Yeah, what's up?
Nigga, according to Criminal Code 25, you don't have to pee your pants. Period. You piece of shit. Nigga, you're peeing and you're acting tough. I never seen anybody pee on themselves acting tough ever in the history of life. Except this pee-soaked piece of shit. Have you ever seen that before? You unalike your sister and you're here acting tough with a pee-soaked. Bro, you stunk the car. And you're stinking the chair. And the whole there's a puddle underneath you because you pee so much. And you're trying to act tough. You're trying to show the law. Shut up, you piece of shit. You vile human being. Piece of urine. You reek. Stop playing. Piece of shit.
Yeah. They think that he was probably putting on a show when he was arrested.
For what reasons?
To make it seem like he's mentally unwell.
I see.
So ultimately...
That's even more sick and twisted that he peed himself just to fake whatever. Wow.
Because before he was arrested, he went to a psychiatrist and asked them to diagnose him with a mental disorder.
Whoa.
And they were like, do you have a mental disorder? Ultimately, the prosecutors had a lot going for them. The wife's testimony, neighbor's testimony, the forensic evidence, the CCTV footage. Side note about the CCTV footage, the police were also able to find more footage closer to Feng's apartment that showed the same figure. So basically, they were able to track him. Like, not completely, but pretty good. Also, the CCTV shows Feng bringing Cece's head to the temple 2 days before the head was found, meaning for 2 full days, locals, tourists, temple goers had used that restroom not knowing that there was a head there. And side note about this, Feng said that he was anxious after placing the head in the bathroom, not for the reasons that you would think though. Like he just killed his sister, disposed of her body in the most horrific way. Maybe he's scared of guilt, potentially even getting caught. But no, he said he was anxiously checking the news for 2 days because he was worried that he was terrified.
That they wouldn't know it's her.
No, that someone would just throw it away without checking.
What?
Yeah, exactly. He wants
wants
this to be known so
the
he can get his money.
Exactly. And he's like, then it would be a headache. I'd have to wait 7 years to get the insurance payout. So even with all of this out in the open, Feng's like, I'm not going to go down without a fight. He starts pretending to be insane in the courtroom, collapsing, waking up and saying, the aliens are here. They've implanted a chip in my brain and the aliens have controlled me.
They implanted a chip in your dick and you can't stop peeing. You're an idiot. No aliens did shit to you. You are a pee-soaked piece of shit. I will keep saying that till the video ends. You are a pee-soaked piece of shit. Spam the comments. Pee-soaked piece of shit. Put his name in there. Pee-soaked piece of shit. This guy's an idiot, man. Aliens did what? Aliens did what? What? They held your dick and balls and you can't hold your pee? You stink, piece of shit. Well, piece of pee, I guess.
He would pretend to cry and say, the aliens made me kill my sister. They controlled me to commit these acts and I remember it. I don't want to remember it. They manipulated me. They want me to end my life so I can't speak the truth. And then the court would be out of session because they're like, this man is unhinged. Go put him in his cell, right? The minute he gets in his cell, he turns around. He's cool, calm, collected. And he starts bragging to his cellmates about his murder. Yeah. And then the next day, he'd be dragged back into court, drooling, collapsing, showing reports from the psychiatrist that deemed him mentally ill before he was even arrested. Because remember what I said? It's like he had this insurance plan that if he does get arrested, he could just plea insanity. He's like, look, I've got all the reports. Professional examinations after his arrest revealed Feng to be mentally sound and fit to stand trial.
Right.
But Cece's mom and Feng's mom stood by Feng.
What?
She said that it was probably a mental breakdown. She testified that their family does have a history of hereditary mental disorders, and she begged the judge to not give the death penalty to Feng. She said,
Okay. I have given you all the grace. I have given you, I have actually supported you in some ways, trying to make sense of all this situation. You're trying to get that all out of the room because for whatever reason, I'm just holding back. I don't want to call you a piece of shit. I don't. I know how you raise those kids, but sometimes you have to take the love of your kids out when they commit heinous crimes like this and tell the truth. It is hard. Yes, it is. And you sound like a good mom who loves your kids, but not when your son goes to that extent to unalive, mutilate, and disgrace your daughter. Hook her up. No. Don't go there. Don't go there, Cece's mom. Don't go there. You're Cece's mom. You're not Feng's mom now. Allow the Lord deal with Feng. Stop. Stop with all that baby stuff. Stop. You're getting me angry. You're getting me angry.
dead. I already lost a daughter. Please spare my son. I miss my daughter very much, but at this point, what else can I do? I hope the judges can forgive Fang and give him another chance. And she argued her son is a good son. He's never done anything bad before.
That's crazy. I wonder if there's a level of like son versus daughter, you know, how the traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the end, Fang was sentenced April 30th, 2015. He was facing the death penalty, but the judges did take his mom's pleas into consideration. They gave him life imprisonment instead. And netizens were really confused on how to feel about this, right? Some netizens just felt sad. They said, we feel sad for Cece, we feel sad for the mom, for the situation. And they asked the question, what parts of Cece did her brother kill before he finally killed her physically? If he had been assaulting her, forcing her to do sex work, like, this was not a fast kill. He was probably killing her slowly for over a decade. But other people felt like the mom doesn't know what she's talking about and the court should not have listened to her. They said, do you think a respectful son, like the mom claims, would kill his own sister for insurance money? Others wondered.
The mom's not talking rational. And I'm not saying the mom is not rational. The mom is 100% rational. I'm saying that her emotions are leading the way. She put all logic aside. Her emotions are leading the way because she sees it from the standpoint of, I've lost a daughter. I don't want to lose a son too. Well, but that is not a good way to look at it. A good way to look at it is, I've lost a daughter, and the person who's responsible has to face punishment. The person happens to be a son, but has to face punishment. That is how it should be. That's how it should be looked at. I don't know why Cece's mom, man, it's just the mothers, you know, it's something with mothers where their kids do bad things, but they have that soft spots in their heart to kind of like, you know, give them grace and all that stuff. But man,
any mother whose child is so viciously taken from them, they would hate and despise the killer with all their heart. But when they realize that the killer is their own son,
that's the thing.
they still hate and despise as much? I don't know. What do you think of the question? Leave it in the comments. I mean, let me know all your thoughts in the comments. I read most of the comments. I'm always lurking down there. And I'm just very interested in this case because I imagine like the feeling of she's got this intense hatred for whoever did this to her daughter. And then to find out it was her son. Does something shift right there? Does something change? Does that hatred suddenly dim down? Like, what happens?
It sure did.
Or is it a different kind of pain? Does that hatred turn into sorrow? I'm not a parent, so it's really hard for me to like even imagine. So parents out there, please leave it in the comments. But please stay safe, and I will see you guys on Sunday for the mini-sode. Bye.
Man, oh man, this is unbelievable. This is unthinkable. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. The guy had to face the death penalty. Like, I don't care. Like, he had to be out of here. No excuse. Her mom, on the other hand, needs counseling. I would suggest they find counseling for her. Cece's other siblings who went in the mainland, I think there's four left, right? Because there was 6. Cece's definitely unalived. The pea-soaked piece of shit is definitely going to jail for life. So the rest of them should comfort the mom, man. They should get therapy for her. They should. And they should find justice for Cece. Let them. I wish they looked at it as justice for Cece rather than losing a brother or a son. Because if they see it as justice for Cece, the element of losing a brother is diminished. But if they see it as we lost a sister, we're going to lose a brother, then that is when all this kind of, oh, please, and stuff like that come to play. And I don't like that. And I do not like that. If for nothing at all, like, unalive him. Because he deserves it. He worked so hard to deserve unalivement. This is so sad. This case is extremely sad. From nothing scratching and clawing and trying to make sense of this life, and kept getting rejected, kept getting the wrong hand dealt every time, and falls to her brother, who inadvertently and at the last end unalived her after 14 years of treating your sister as a pimp, like pimping out his sister and treating her like slave. Oh my goodness. I'll catch you on the next one. This is so sad, man. I can't even. Man, I'll see you all next time. Like, share, subscribe, join our Discord. We'll have Discord exclusive events coming soon. Love you all so much. Bye.
Tune in, hit play, let's take a ride around the world with Steven, we worldwide. Stories so wild, they keep you hooked. Subscribe and share, come take a look. Reacting to the stories are crazy to real. With every new video, we bring the thrill. From mysteries to drama, we cover it all. Join the fam, let's have a ball. From dark tales to